Welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
What's up, guys? I hope you guys are excited for this week. 43 is coming out, and yeah, new Survivor. They kind of found the kinks in the first two seasons, so this is like the new polished version of New School. So no hourglass twist, no do or die, shot in the dark. So we'll see how things go from there.
Yeah. No do or die. Yeah, the hourglass is gone. The shot in the dark's still around, isn't it?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Because we
I
haven't seen it successfully done yet. So I want
yeah,
to see it happen.
yeah. They're gonna probably keep doing it until it's actually strikes some kind of TV success.
Probably.
Or if it just failed again this year, it might be the end of it, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, here we are. We got our Survivor 43 fantasy draft here. And doing things a little differently here. We got all of the different little headshots of all the different people here, and when we draft them, we will be moving them to the side of who drafted. So let you guys get a little visual aid so that way you can also see who we're talking about in case maybe you don't know who these people are yet.
Yeah. We're still getting to know these faces. We will as for the next few months.
Hmm.
And yeah, just like as much as I love our faces, it's always cool having this like visual stuff as well. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. It's always nice. It's almost like adding a little production value.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
okay, well, I won last season. So that means I get to go and pick the first person this time. Um, and as you know, you don't have to pick it's not going back and forth between the genders. It's you can pick whoever you want at any point.
Yeah.
So my first pick, who is someone who I really was so low before I got to hear all of this stuff about him.
I
Um,
already know who it is.
I thought he was like gonna be easy pre-merge fodder. Like we're not even gonna get any thoughts on him. I'm picking Jesse Lopez.
Oh shit. You did not choose who I thought you were gonna pick. Jesse Lopez, no, I agree. I feel like he's had a lot of interesting he's had a lot of he has like a very interesting story behind him. He has like I think because he was in a gang in early in his life and
Mhm.
now he has a PhD in political science. Like he is both street smart and book smart. And I think out here that's a very, very strong combination.
Yeah, I mean, he literally studied how people vote using Survivor. Like he literally wrote a thesis on it.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Any other reasons why you chose him for your number one?
I don't know. I'm just getting the sense that he is going to be someone who's going to play hard, but you're not going to tell right away. He's going to probably kick it on probably at the merge around there. Um, and I think he's got, a little bit of potential Tony vibes in him as well. I think he's going to be hard, like, playing hard, playing fast, when he starts putting it on. And yeah, I don't know. I'm getting the vibe that he is going to be playing and be one of the big players of the season.
I strongly agree. He was number three on my list. But as I was telling Joe before this, and we kind of discussed, this one it's a little tricky. And that could be my PTSD from just like butchering or like doing so terribly on these draft picks before.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like he was like one person I think out of like I'd say the top four that's on my list that I think could probably win.
Mhm.
Anyone could win potentially, except for 1%, but we'll get to that person way, way later. Um, all right. So, any final words on Jesse Lopez?
No, I'm excited. He's definitely the person I'm most looking forward to on the season. Yeah, and I think he's on a great tribe too. I think his tribe is the tribe that probably won't go to tribal pre-merge. I think they're very physical, very strong. And I don't think he'd be the first one to go on the tribe. So, I think he's like locked merge.
Yeah, I think Remind me what team he was on. Because I know seeing a team and it was very physical.
It's the Red Vessi tribe, which has I believe it's Cody is on it, Dwight, him, um, I want to say NECA, Justine, and someone else I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I
But that seems like
looked
a
it
pretty
up.
strong. That seems like a strong team.
No, no, totally,
Yeah.
totally. Um, all right, so I'm so nervous, especially after choosing, you know, last time and not doing so hot and then getting like buyer's remorse with her throughout the entire game. Even though I was still rooting for her, I was like, okay, come on, we're in this together.
Mhm.
Um, so, oh gosh, I think I'm gonna choose who. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna think my number one pick, and I'm still debating between the two as I'm about to say it.
Come on, it can't be that hard, you know. It's not like one of them is going to just suddenly be the first one out, and then your team's going to get crumbled from after that.
Awesome. I always get the first boot, and that puts
Yeah,
me so behind
yeah.
in
You,
these.
you've never not gotten the first boots.
I know. It's a 50-50 shot, and the four times we've played. Uh, okay.
What's bad is you usually also get the second boots.
Yeah. I fail at the early part of this.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna go with number one on my list. I'm gonna choose Owen Knight.
Owen Knight, interesting.
He just, all right. Will he win? I'm not sure, but I do like him. I think
Mhm.
he could definitely be targeting earlier if we're thinking of like what role he's similar to or adjacent to from 42.
Hmm.
He could be like another Omer kind of like thing.
See, so that's what I thought he was going to be by pre-season picture. I thought he was going to be the Omer of the season, but he has clearly been wanting to talk about being the next Ozzy, the next, just like physically dominant, the next Woo. Like he doesn't, he seems more interested in that aspect of the game.
I
Um,
think yeah, I do think like, sometimes people going into this, like they have an ideal of what they want to be, but who they actually are. I'm usually good at
mhm,
seeing like who they are underneath it all,
mhm.
except for Tori. Uh, blinded by the blondness.
Mhm.
Uh, but no, I think like I said, it's a really tough to see between all of them, but I feel like, he does have pretty strong potential to at least make it to finale.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say he's at least making a mid-merge run at the very least. I'd say. I had him as my number 5 out of 18. So I did like him. I just he technically he has gone up from when I first saw him because at first I thought he was like he's also going to be
yeah,
pre-merge fodder as well. But I think he's going to be physical enough that that doesn't end up happening where he becomes that pre-merge fodder. But I do think he's going to be winning maybe a couple challenges, but isn't the greatest competition
yeah.
beast and gets taken out around mid-merge.
If anything, I feel like I don't want to say sleeper threat because there's someone I think who is more sleeper threaty.
Mm-hmm.
um, which we'll get to either if you choose this person or I choose this person next, because I feel like this person is a good number two choice.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have an aura, a little bit of a sense of a sleeper threat. Like he even said, like he doesn't seem like he's going to be the biggest threat out there, but
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely one. Though I don't think his sleeper threatness is as sleeper as he may think.
Uh-huh.
Sleeper.
Nice, nice. Okay. Any last thoughts on Owen Knight?
Yeah, he is a bit of a go-getter, and he has accomplished a lot. And I feel like, having that determination and stuff as a kid, or like, well, he's not a kid, he's a little older than us.
Mm-hmm.
being able to do all that stuff. He seems very driven. He seems very friendly. Those are things that could go get him far in this game.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Okay, first picks down. Let's move on. I will now pick the first girl of our draft here. And I'll admit, I don't know if she's winning this game. I really don't think it's going to happen, but I think she's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to root for the fun people. So I am picking Carla Cruz Godoy.
You know, I think she's going to be a big character on here.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, where did I put her? I put her at like 9, but like mostly because I feel like just that she got me with that promo where she's like, I wouldn't do anything to I'll do anything to win except, well, no, I do
Uh,
anything.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was a lot of fun.
She's definitely going into, I think she's going to be like the new era villain type kind of character, where she's going to be scheming, she's going to be willing to backstab people pretty often. Yet again, I don't think that's going to net her the win. But I do think she's going to make a somewhat deep run and probably not be looked at as super cutthroat until, probably a little later into the game. And yeah, I don't know. I want this season. I think this time I normally try to pick like who do I think is going to like guaranteed make it super far. This time I'm picking a little more like who I just really want to root for.
as someone that has done that in the past.
I listen. I normally I would, but this season is not giving me any of those vibes.
No, that is fair. That's fair. I mean, like, granted, we just started this list. It wasn't, I'd say 41. After I looked at my list, I had buyer's remorse. 42, I did not have buyer's remorse. But like as the season went on, I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I thought season 42, I thought we drafted pretty evenly. Like if before the season, like it looked like okay, this could go either way.
yeah. Yeah. I think Carla is definitely going to be a really strong. It's going to suck if she goes pre-merge. I'll say that because I feel
Agree.
like she has a lot of entertainment value right off
Yeah.
the bat.
Yeah, exactly. She's someone who I hope does well enough that she could be a returning player. Like already, I already hope that she's someone that we see multiple times.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next up. Uh, thing is, it's like I'm nervous because there's one person I really want to choose, but
Mhm.
there's someone who's kind of my favorite to go in. But I don't know where the first person is on your list. You might grab that person next,
Mhm.
but I kind of want to pick one of my favorites. So even though the person I'm talking about is number 2 on my list and I have a strong opinion about them, I'm going to go with my number 4 pick, Dwight Moore.
Dwight's more interesting. So,
Oh
fun
God.
fact, I
What do
had
you
him.
know?
What?
What do you know?
I don't know anything. I was just gonna say, I am now very low on him.
Really?
I think he is going to be this season's JD.
No, come on.
Yeah, he just talks so so much like, oh, I've done all this great stuff, all these accomplishments I've done already. But when you're older, people don't really like to hear that, and it kind of sounds like you're almost talking like down, like, oh, I've done all this stuff, and it can eventually become like, okay, I don't really vibe with this person because they're just talking about all of the stuff that they've done, but it's not really something that's maybe pertaining to us. So it might
True.
create a divide or a distance between him and his tribe mates.
It
Um,
might be a thing too. I will say this because like
mhm,
interviewing and stuff like that,
mhm,
sorry, in interviews and stuff, obviously a lot more of that is going to come out because
mhm,
like the spotlight is on you. I'm one of those people where I will talk about myself if it's like an interview and stuff like that
mhm.
for quite some time.
Yeah.
Watching it back, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
but
he also has an issue with his talking actually. He talks crazy fast. He like never stops to breathe. He is like go 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 go. Which yet again, not the greatest trait to have when you're trying to, bond with people to actually like develop plans with other people. Like when you're going super fast, it can be trouble.
He'll grow. Stop. You're making me feel like I have buyer's remorse.
Already, you just had your second pick.
Well, you keep saying things.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. He was my winner pick before, and now I was like, ooh, that was a wrong choice.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I like Dwight. I like Dwight.
Yeah, we'll see. I like being wrong about things. If
I
I'm
like
wrong about
being
him.
right about things, and when I'm wrong, it's usually brutal. So, as we have seen.
Mhm. Okay, well, second pick there. I am going to pick next and I'm going to pick the chess master James Jones.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, he was someone relatively low on my list.
Okay. So we're switching off a little bit here on who we're valuing here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, I think he's going to have some trouble socially. I think he's going to be wanting to play the game like chess, which Survivor is not chess. But if he's able to kind of compartmentalize that like part of him, like that this whole thing should be like a chess game, and is able to connect with maybe a few key people on the season, I think he's going to be putting himself in a really good position where he can have other people kind of working with a lot of people socially while he's the one saying this needs to happen, let's go for this, and maybe play himself more into that kind of mastermind role. Obviously could put himself into a position where he gets voted out later into the season. But I don't see him going out super early. I think he's physical. He's on the same tribe as James, I believe, the Bessie tribe. So I think that they're not really going to go to tribal very often.
I
So
feel
yeah.
like he might be targeted though, because he is older and, sometimes that social game in the beginning, it's so critical
Mhm.
because it's like any reason not, or like any reason for it to not be you is a good reason. And I feel like, if he struggles in that beginning game and like, I mean, like he has
Mhm.
mass, but I'm not body shaming whatsoever. But
Uh,
I do wonder if that mass is actually power or he's,
mhm.
built and can. Um,
Yeah. I would say that I think Cody and Jesse are still also very physical and are going to do a lot for winning challenges and stuff. And I think he's probably going to be the one to actually put on puzzles. So
okay,
I,
that's
I
fair.
yeah, I think he's going to be shining in that element. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So, hold on, let me write them down. Also, I'm very wrong about a lot of things when it comes to predictions. So I should, I just want to give Joe a taste of his medicine.
Yeah, go
Uh,
for it. Let me know if when I have people that are super low on your list.
okay. All right. So next up, I gotta choose this person. Um, I'm going with Aneka Ejiri, um,
Interesting.
because she seems like, and she has stated, she seems very sleeper thready.
Mhm.
She has said that she wants to play like a Serene Fields game. And the thing is, I can kind of like see it, but maybe a bit more. I don't want to say more new school or more active role because, like, you know, Suri is someone who has kind of like, played active roles in her games before, like, influencing, but not like the dominant influencer.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like maybe she might have a bit more take charge. I do see a lot of like leadership in her.
Uh,
Um, but I also see it as like she can be like a sleeper threat too. And I feel like the sleeper threat is pretty strong with this one.
Yeah, see, I had her 16 out of 18, so she's very low on my list. And the reason for this is that she wants to play a very loyal, very honest, not backstabbing kind of game. She wants to basically be completely honest about everything out there. Which just is not new school survivor. Like you're not gonna win doing that. She might make it far. Like she's either going pre-merge or she's been like making final three and go and getting 0 votes. Like she's one of the two. So we'll have to see on that. But I definitely don't see a win coming from NECA.
I gotta disagree. I think she has the potential. I
Mhm.
Good God. I need to do more research, like deep dive, like every little thing. Where do
Yeah,
you find the time to do this, man?
I listened to Rob has a podcast with Mike Bloom. He went through he had interviews with everyone and was able to to hear all of their answers.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, see you put into work and hopefully you get good results. Yeah, I did all this research and I still don't really know. Like I'm still talking out of my butt here. Like who knows?
Oh gosh. All right.
Don't worry. You can make fun of me for this next one. Okay, you can make fun of me for this next one because I am picking someone who I know is not winning the game, but
Gabler.
it's not Gabler. It's not my Gabler. I am picking someone who I think is also going to be a fun character on the season, who I think is going to probably make it at least into the merge. I'm picking Mariah Young.
Really. I
Yeah.
feel we're talking like positivity and stuff. She's very, very strong on that. And I feel like positivity is cool and all, but sometimes you gotta
Yeah.
assess the situation.
This might be me just coming off of a Marianne win. I think that
Yeah.
she's got a very like she's in the same vein as Marianne, very light, very bubbly, very
Yeah.
positive.
I'd say
Um,
even more so because she's
yeah,
like in everything she's in,
yeah,
she's like rainbow, like her rainbow hair and
yeah.
everything.
She's Marianne, but turned to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, I understand. It's definitely normally I would have picked her probably about midway through this draft.
that's where she is for me.
Yeah, that's probably where I would have picked her. But right now I'm picking people who I want to see as fun characters, fun people to watch, and I think that she's going to be probably one of the fun, bright, fun characters of the season.
Nice. Yeah. Um, I think she's definitely gonna be a big personality. I mean, you have rainbow hair, you're gonna be a big personality. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah,
She also does like social media stuff, I believe TikTok.
yeah, she has a selfie museum.
Selfie museum. My God. Um, though I think she is definitely someone where kind of like out in the wild, you
Mhm.
know, the bright, colorful things are usually seen more and are targeted.
Mhm.
Where things that have camouflage and stuff like that usually make it by. But I mean, like, because there's a lot of attention just visually speaking drawn to her,
Mhm.
I think it might get people to think more about her and think more of getting rid of her.
Yeah, she's
That
definitely
makes
more likely to get targeted out around like the 8, 7, 6, where like that kind of like who can we not let sit at the final three. I think she's definitely more likely to be targeted around that area because of her hair, how she dresses, than say Marianne, who despite being very bubbly and out there, was dressed still, very kind of
yeah,
reserved. So I definitely think not likely to be a winner. But honestly, like there's very few people on the season who I'm just like that person's giving me winner vibes. Like
yeah.
I get a lot of people who I'm like they could make it far.
I think winner adjacent. That's like my one of my
Yeah,
favorite new words.
yeah,
Adjacent.
yeah.
All right. So my next pick. This could be it. I'm gonna choose Noel Lambert.
Noel, interesting.
Part of it is one. yes, she has a very interesting story. And for those that don't know, she was not born,
Yeah.
above the knee, missing a leg. She's above the knee amputee and stuff like that. And her being very physical and stuff like that, I feel like socially, I don't say she's going to use that in her favor, but I feel like, people around her might not want to vote her out in spite of that, at least in the very beginning or pre
Mhm.
part of that. It's not like it's more so of like, honoring her more as a person as opposed to just like, oh, she has like a missing leg. I think she
Yeah.
will, since she is like, Paralympian. If I mispronounce that, I mispronounce a lot of things.
Yeah.
Uh,
What tribe
I,
is she on? Let me see because that could also let us know maybe some of the people who might see if they're judging a little bit on physical prowess in that regard. She's on the Vessi tribe, so she's on the strong tribe.
Yeah, but she herself is physical. She
Yeah.
participated in Olympics, so
Yeah.
I feel like she is still like we'll see how physical threat she is, but she is, if I were to categorize Brawn, Brains, and Beauty, um, while she is a very pretty woman, I do think Bronze is, she's giving me more of that vibe.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely think she's in the brawn category. Was even talking though that she's expecting her leg to fall off during challenges a few times. Like she's even cut like straight up and like, yeah, that might happen. So definitely a little concern if this tribe that is very physical does lose and is like, well, it was because one of our people kept having to stop and reattach the leg. Obviously going to be someone everyone's going to root for her. Uh, but definitely not a winner. She's just in the like when you come into Survivor with as an amputee,
Yeah,
you know that at some points they're not going to let you get to the final three. At some
yeah, that's
points they have to get rid of you.
I have her in a number 5 at my list because I'm
Yeah.
like, if I'm thinking social threats or like, people with really good backstories and stuff usually go out, not like, this is where a lot of people are thinking, jury,
Mm-hmm.
thinking like the jury phase and like, okay, this person might win because they have a hell of a story if they get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's like that person.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
if she gets past the second jury member, she's technically the made it furthest as an amputee. So,
yeah,
because Chad from Survivor Vanuatu is currently the holder of that record.
at number 8, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay. I'm gonna pick a sleeper threat here. Actually, I do need to put a sleeper threat on my team just in case we do have someone who kind of squeezes by and gets a surprise win here. Um, and I'm picking Ellie Scotts.
Okay. Uh, I I like Ellie. Thing
Mhm.
is, traumatized by Tori.
That's why she's getting picked pretty late into this draft now. She's just a little later into this draft. Yeah. She's someone who I definitely agree could have the Tory factor happen to her, where she gets a lot of heat early on that carries with her until she gets voted out. But
I've not been writing these down.
surprisingly, uh I don't think she's going to be as physical as Tori, which
Yeah,
actually is going to be a benefit to her because Tori won those first two immunity challenges, which
and she
basically,
could have won the other one if she wasn't up against, uh, Almighty Thor over there.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Jonathan.
So yeah, it's I think the fact that she's not going to win those early immunities will make it so that way she won't just get voted off like right when she loses because that's what happened with Tori. If you win the first two immunity challenges, you're basically putting yourself in a situation where you have to win all of them from then on out.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're just gonna get you're the easy vote at that point, and you never want to be the easy votes.
no, no, unless you have plot armor for days.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exactly. So I think that she's going to be able to play a little more of a backseat role for a good chunk of the season, and then maybe come out near the end, similar to how the last two seasons were edited. Have someone not really be seen because there's all these other big characters, and then kind of give the win to someone who kind of comes in near the end with a few big moves.
Okay. Okay. Like I said, I put her like at 11, but
Uh,
that's mostly because like
Tori.
um but like for the reasons why I chose Tori originally, about being, studying psychology and stuff like that was part of the reason I chose her as the winner pick.
Mhm.
So, like, obviously, I do think that is a big asset going out there. So, I do think Ellie Scott is a solid choice, especially at number 5. Like, if she was a little higher, I wouldn't have judged you.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Ah, all right. This person is not number 6 on my list, mostly because I'm forgetting why I put the person at number 6 as number 6 on my list. Uh, But for number 7, which is going to be my number 5, I got to represent the Ryan. So Ryan Medrano, um, yeah, one, he seems like, first off, his first picture did not do the man justice. This man
No.
is freaking a brick house. Like, he is huge.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Like,
also
and
like
he's like
he has the
younger
greatest
than
smile.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Like, he seems like, I don't want to say friendly giant because that has like the connotation that they're not all that bright. He does seem smart.
Uh-huh.
Um, he doesn't seem stupid at all. But I think like he is definitely going to be a big target when it comes to the merge, like because he's a social threat and because like he is the big guy out there. Like
Uh-huh.
you know, um, I gotta support my Ryan, so I had to nap him. I'd say at this spot. Yeah, I think obviously we'll see how like things play out, but because he is like a strong presence, I don't think he's going out pre-merge at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
unless there's something like unless they have like a really darn good reason,
Yeah.
or he's just not within the numbers and they're
Yeah.
just like, we have to get rid of him.
Yeah, he has to really blow up his game somehow for that to happen. But yeah, I like Ryan. I think Ryan is going to be pretty good. I will say I think we were just talking about how Tori won those first two immunity challenges and got voted out. I think that's going to happen to Ryan. I think
Yeah,
he's likely to win those first couple immunity challenges, lose one, and then become the easy vote to get taken
yeah.
out at that point.
I
Um,
mean, if we're going based off of what we have, like
yeah.
if we put them together, like this is 10th or ninth. So like
Yeah,
I think that is like
that's
I don't
fair.
want to say a cliche where that person would go because Jonathan Young last season kind of like, subverted our expectations on where that kind of or where that archetype usually goes.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we'll
I
see.
I
We'll
picked
see.
Jonathan either third or fourth. I picked him
Yeah.
pretty early. Yeah, I thought he was definitely going to do pretty good that season. But that was mostly because he was in a season that was probably one of the weakest physical seasons that we've had in a very long time.
I still
And
think I still think he shined. The boulder, the
well, no, no,
boulder.
no, no. I'm saying the season as besides him. Like if you take the other 17, compare them to any other Survivor season,
Yeah,
they're
it's not
definitely
a very
weaker.
physical one.
Yeah, and
And
so
I
so Jonathan, as then also being one of the strongest ones, if you compare him to any other season, makes him significantly more valuable to everyone on that season.
Yeah, but we talked about that a lot, and I definitely agree with you. But man, when Jonathan shined last season, he
Yeah,
shone
yeah.
shined.
Jo- Jo-
I should have paid more attention in English class.
yeah, Jonathan needs
But
to be on the challenge. He would
he would
destroy.
dominate on the challenge after
Yeah,
watching All Stars, which if you haven't seen it, skip
Mhm.
ahead like 10 seconds. Survivors represented. Two Survivor winners coming through. One of them being, well, both of them are favorites, but one of them being one of my favorite female contestants, which is kind of funny because, one of my favorite contestants of all time and her always butt heads on each season that they're in together.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty strong too. So, like, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but at the same time, like, I respect both of their gameplays. But,
Yeah.
and Danny,
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We messaged each other before, and we both picked who we thought was
we
gonna
both
win.
agreed. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was good. I felt like it was obvious in my opinion. Like these two have had the best storylines for the
Yeah.
season. So yeah,
Tyson was too big to win. He was like too
yeah,
much of a like the
yeah,
villain role, like it's fun to watch and stuff like that, but you understand it makes it harder for you to win near
yeah.
the end.
Yeah, exactly. Even Johnny Bananas, who has a bit of a villain role in the challenge, like even on his winning seasons, like they always try to make him seem like he has redeeming qualities to everything he's doing.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about something a bit later because it's a little off topic, but
Mhm.
it's about like villains in like game shows or reality game shows.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Okay,
um,
nice pick there
it's
with
your move.
the other Ryan. So
Uh, Ryan M.
okay, I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah, W.
WM. Yeah, it's the reverse Ryan.
I'm the Wumbo Ryan.
Nice, nice. Okay, I'm actually going to stick with one more sleeper pick here. Someone who I also think could make it to the end and be a very strong player. And I am picking Janine. Um,
Okay,
and hopefully it's not like our brand Steelers where she gets injured all the time.
bro, that was so messed up. That was like messed up. Where for those who have not checked out our brand seals, please do. They're a lot of fun. I'm not just saying that, but like they're very entertaining. Janine has the worst luck. She's like the my leg guy of our Brant Steel universe.
Yeah, yeah. She gets injured 3 times on her first season, manages to stay around, literally has to get idled to get pity voted out because no one wanted to get rid of her. Like they just
Yeah,
were refusing. They were like, no, you're coming to the end with us. And then she gets medevac in All Stars. So definitely a little sad there for Janine. So hopefully she's doing better. I do think that she's going to be a good social threat. I think she's going to be pretty strategic. um I do worry a little bit pre-merge for her. I could see her getting targeted for just being like, oh, maybe this they're not getting in with the right persons, or maybe they failed a challenge or something, so let's vote out Janine. um
yeah.
I could
Uh,
I could see one of those outcomes still happening with her pre-merge. But overall, I think that if she manages to make it to the merge, I think she has the ability to make it to the end, and potentially steal a win away from some of these other big characters.
I kind of agree. I put her at 13 because I'm like, it's not because I think she's going to do badly. It's just like when I was like thinking of like where people might go, she just fell shy of the merge.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a like pretty positive opinion. I'd say I wouldn't say like I have negative opinion of anyone below except for one, but it's because of one comment they made. And we'll get to that person probably last or second to last. But like I'd say like Janine and above, I'm like, okay, I can really see them. I feel like James Jones, who's number 14 on my list, I was like, a little iffy. I really think it's playable. Like it's something where it really depends on like, how tribal and pre-merge works out for him
Mm-hmm.
and like where he finds his role in the tribe. But yeah, I think Janine is a pretty solid choice.
Yeah, around this
Yeah,
area, it's a bit of a high risk, high reward almost. Like I think that she's definitely a very possible pre-merge boot, but I also think she's a possible final three person. So
yeah,
this is a pretty good area for those high risk, high reward.
I agree. Even though Ryan tries to pick those first. Uh, all right, so this person may be this. Oh, I need to write Janine's last name on this. Um, so this person is high risk, high. I don't think high risk, high reward. I'm going with the person that has the superhero alliteration in their name, Cassidy Clark. One,
Interesting.
that's just like a cool sounding name.
Yeah.
Two, so one thing I do remember, she was my number 6 spot, and I was like trying to remember why.
Uh-huh.
One thing is like she was originally supposed to be in 41 back before the pandemic happened. She
Uh-huh.
was so this is like she's part of the what if, universe B without, the pandemic and stuff influencing anything.
Mhm.
In that universe, she has already played. And so like
Exactly.
the fact that she has been held for so long and still coming back, because we've seen those people, or at least that have been open about, being whole for the pandemic and stuff like that, to be on the season, have been kind of influential, like Lindsay, or like what was her name? And she was like the first jury member in 41.
Um God. Tiffany Seeley.
Tiffany C. Oh yeah, I did for a second, because Tiffany and Heather fall under the same archetype. I was
Yeah.
forgetting Heather's name, and
Yeah.
I thought it was Tiffany. But anywho,
Yeah.
because like those are like character or people who have like their like introduction into the game was influenced by the pandemic and stuff, but they
Mhm.
ended up being like prominent or significant in their own respective ways. Um, I mean, it happened later for Lindsay, admittedly. She was like a sleeper and became one of my favorites of the season. But, it's kind of like Tiffany was thought of like, oh, she could be a potential winner. Like I remember discussing this, and like,
Uh-huh.
like it's like you talking about like the mom archetype actually winning a season for the
Mhm.
first time since forever.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah. Anywho, enough about
Okay.
that for Cassidy.
Okay. Yeah.
There
I
was
would
something about her where I'm like, okay, I think she can definitely be a prominent role within the season, but
uh,
what that role is going to be is yet to be decided.
yeah, I wanted
Um,
to say this when we got to her, but Cassidy Clark here has a bit of a resemblance to someone that you know very well from our brand Steel is Miss Catherine Newton.
that could play a factor into it.
I thought you were gonna pick her way earlier because of that, to be honest.
No, listen. All right, I'm not. This isn't a subliminal thing that I'm doing, but I am trying to have more of a male female balance, because for the past few, mine have been very female heavy. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I would like a bit more of a, what is it? More balance on my team. And so far, I have achieved that. And it's
Yeah.
not like I'm purposely doing that either, because out of the top 7 that I have, out of my top 7, um, except for Jesse Lopez, I have chosen each and every one that's in that.
Mhm.
So, I thought very high of her. 6 is one of my favorite numbers. And so her getting number 6 on my list is a, bit of a compliment. But now that you mentioned the Catherine Newton thing, I'm like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool. I've been working Horror Nights, and sometimes I get asked to go over to the Blumhouse one with Freaky.
Uh-huh.
And then like in my head, I'm like, yay, I get to be with all the Millies. Not that I'm like pursuing or anything like that, but like
Uh-huh.
I'm like a little fangirling inside.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I actually have more girls this time. Normally, because you end up picking all the girls, I end up
It's
picking the
like we've
guys. So,
swapped strategies.
yeah. So that means you're gonna win, right?
You would think.
but
You would think.
this is like the one time that is gonna like work in your favor, but it ends up working in my favor.
You see, there I'm like Brad Pitt in Bullet Train, the ladybug. Uh my luck can be very, very crappy, but not crappy enough where it just totally obliterates me. So
Mhm.
usually when it comes to these things, as you can see on our brand steals, usually my I have terrible luck in these.
Mhm.
But so it would be the one time I do switch and that strategy actually blows up in my face.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just basing it off of what the media is saying. We'll find out, like, we'll find out and we'll find out. But no, I'm excited for this season. But like, I don't know, like I felt like Cassidy was definitely like she was a standout for me, but I just couldn't place why. Maybe
Mhm.
because of the Catherine Newton Rose
Yeah.
subliminally in my head.
Yeah.
But no, I do feel like I've glanced at like thumbnails at lists, and some people do put her higher up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have uh now that you said that,
Now that's all you can think of.
you doomed me.
Catherine Newton
Okay.
was great on our channel, so maybe this will be the start of Cassie Clark as the Catherine Newton.
So it's Francesca. So let's take that with a grain of salt.
uh,
All right, but yeah, come on, Cassidy. I hope the people on my channel do well, or on my side do well. So
mhm,
I do have a strong opinion about. There's no one I have chosen where I felt obligated to choose so far. Um, Someone
nice.
may have made me felt a little bad after a few of my picks, but you know, I still, after the shock of the I would say the reality check you have given me on some of my picks. I still feel pretty positive about this team so far.
Mhm. Yeah, nice, nice. Okay. Let's move on now to my next pick then. Um
We are in that phase where it's like, all right, we think this person will probably get out pre-merge.
yeah,
Um,
surprisingly this next person I think is not going out pre-merge. They have zero chance of winning the game.
yeah,
I just think they're gonna probably be a fun character as well. I'm being Cody Austinmacher.
I had him as 16 on my list.
Uh-huh.
I feel like he does have like a strong personality, and I
Hmm.
feel like that could get in his way, but I feel like he does have, that being said, strong personalities
Hmm.
can either take you far or like make you very memorable, or it puts a huge target on my back. Something tells me it's going to be the latter.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think he's winning this game. I don't think he goes out pre-merge though. I think he's going to be very good for the tribe. I think he's going to be a provider. I think he's going to be good in challenges. I think even if he's not in with the right people, I think he's going to be the last one that the main group will target because they want someone like him. Um, and yeah, overall, I believe he's also on the Vessi tribe, which is going to be very strong and physical. Um, so I think he's going to make it to the merge. But I can definitely see him, having trouble once the merge gets going and not really finding his footing as the season goes on. But I do think he's going to have some probably memorable quotes or something.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a fun character.
Oh yeah. I do like his quote where it was like, I kind of need to win this money. I already spent some of it.
Yeah.
He does seem like pretty fun. Yeah, I think he'll be definitely entertaining this season
Mhm.
for however long he is on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I know I said the pre-merge, just basically on our like, just like if we're using this, it would be pre-merge, but I'd say
Mhm.
I have like two people left that I don't think are, I can see them being higher. One is 8, one is 10 on my list, so that is merge.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
say I have two people who I think are still like contenders here.
they might be the same two people.
Mhm.
just based on whom we have left.
Mhm.
And so that being said, I'm going to go with my number 8 pick, and that's Geo Bustamante.
Yep, that was one of the two.
I feel like with the people we have left, are the two are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Uh, but like Geo, I always give extra credit to the people who are ambitious, and so like
Mhm.
the fact that he's like, yeah, I'll quit my job to be on Survivor. Um, I feel like, granted, that doesn't always pan out for everyone, but I feel
Mhm.
like he is going to be like, a pretty good force on the tribe. Maybe he won't be as flashy as other people, but I do see him being very methodical and stuff like that. I mean, a lot goes into planning and stuff and looking at things at the bigger picture and things. So I do feel that gives him, I wouldn't say a big edge in this game, otherwise he would be higher, but I
Mhm.
do feel like he will be able to navigate this game decently.
Yeah, I do suspect he's going to flame out at some point. Like he's going to play himself out of the game.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing probably really hard from the get-go. So like he can go on a wide spectrum of potentially going out early. He could make it very far. He could go out in the middle of the game. Like he can hit a lot of the different areas because it's going to just be when does he overplay. And
That
so
is fair.
yeah, it's definitely he's the wild card. This is a great moment to pick a wild card here near the end. Like what do you have to lose? We're already expecting these people to not be super high on like doing very well.
I mean, number 8 isn't bad because like
Yeah,
you haven't really, like I said, other than Jesse, you haven't really stole anyone from my top 9.
yeah,
Well, actually, top 9, yeah, you got Carla, but Carla is at 9. But
yeah.
like from my first from my spots that I can pick up in chronological order, you've only like taken one so far. So I do think highly enough. But then
Mhm.
again, you and I sometimes differ on what we value, and also you do a lot more homework than I do. Uh,
Yeah, I listen. I read the bios surprisingly.
I read the bios too, but
Though, to be honest, the bios don't give me anything. I don't judge the bios too much. I actually judge when they're talking because when they have to be like given a question and on the spot figure it out, like that's more important than when they're like handed questions and they get to like sit down and think about, okay, what do I want to say about this?
that's fair. That is
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Geo was one of the two that I think is still like a decent pick to like get into it. I'm guessing I have this
Yeah.
one is going to be the other one. I'm picking Justine Brennan.
Oh yeah. I was about to say it's Justine and Janine sound so similar. For a
Yeah.
split second, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I picked Janine again. No, Justine, I think she says that she's actually very physical.
Yeah.
She's despite maybe having a smaller stature, is someone who is going to be looking to do good in challenges. I do know someone who is apparently friends with her. And she's
Yeah.
like a rancher, so like she's in like this ranching community of friends.
Outdoorsy and
Yeah,
stuff.
very outdoorsy. So
Yeah.
I believe what she's selling about being more physical in that aspect. Um,
I agree.
I
I
think
agree.
she's going to be social. My problem is I could easily see a bunch of probably the girls looking at her and being like, I don't want to work with Justine. She's she tries to be like this the perfect player or whatever and gets targeted kind of unfairly. I would even say.
Yeah, I do feel like perception may be her downfall in this. And I mean
Yeah.
like that breaking that perception and stuff like that, because she is a very, pretty woman.
Mhm.
And sometimes there might be like, what's the right word? There might be not judgments, but like
Mhm.
they'll be like, oh, like I'll, more like, oh, assumptions based on
Yeah,
like the character and stuff. And she's been pretty open about like people even making those assumptions. It's like,
yeah.
no, I'm actually, I used to be like very tomboyish and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think it's more so of like proving that early on, and maybe she can go further in the game as a result.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's definitely I could see her going out early if she does get if those perceptions do get to her. But I could also see her being similar to like a Lindsay Dolishewicz from Survivor 42.
Yeah, we both know I like Lindsay.
Yeah, exactly. She
Um,
made Final Five, honestly almost won the game.
I know. If it wasn't for that, and I didn't disagree, but I was holding on to hope. She was like the last person I had left.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly. So I think she has some of that upside there. So yeah, we'll see. I could see her though going out early, which would be upsetting.
it would, it
Mhm.
would. Um, but alas, Survivor likes to tug on those heartstrings.
Yep.
All right, let me write down the people from your side. All right, so these three, these were the three out of the four of the lowest people on my list are these three that are left.
Mhm.
I don't. I'm be up with Gabler, aren't I?
Yeah, you gotta choose who. You basically get one more pick here.
I'm be stuck with Gabler, aren't I?
You'll see.
All right. So I have first two like pretty strong first boots. I think, I'm gonna go with one of my lucky numbers, 17. So number 17 on my list is Lindsay Carmine.
Thank God. Okay, so I think she's the first boot of the season. But
Probably.
I mean, this is just me going off of pure perception of her and her tribe, pretty much. I see her as being the easy boot if they go first.
Yeah.
Um, uh, some people are saying that she has upside as a registered nurse. I don't buy that too well. I think she's going to struggle out there. I will say, if you had picked Sammy Leotti, I would have picked Mike Gabler instead of Lindsay.
Oh, so now I am stuck with him.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just go ahead and make those picks right now because that's just gonna be what happens.
I'm annoyed. I was
Yes.
trying to avoid getting this guy.
Yeah, yeah. If you pick Sammy, I
I should have picked. He was number what, 15.
yeah, yeah. I
Now
think
I have remorse.
yeah. I mean, I think Sammy is probably going to somehow squeak by into the merge, but be instantly targeted. Or at least make it deep into the pre-merge because of just he's like the only physical guy on the Baka tribe. Like the Baka tribe is very weak besides him, so he's kind
They
of
really
actually
need to workshop that name.
yeah. I'm waiting for Jeff to say it a different way because he might go out
Baka.
there Baker.
Baka. Baka might be. The thing is, it's like, oh gosh. Let's uh, continue with what we were going to say.
So yeah, if you had picked Sammy, I would have actually picked Mike Gabler over Lindsay, and we probably would have separated the two potential first boots.
I would have been happier.
Yeah. 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 So I was very shocked when he said Lindsay. I was like, oh, perfect. So we'll see. Don't get buyer's remorse already, Ryan.
You
Anything can
That's
happen.
been sprinkled throughout this. The only part I felt confident in was in the middle.
Yeah, you were doing good there for a while. I was like, okay, I like your picks for a few of these. But yeah, it's
Oh no.
um
All
yeah.
right. Reason why I don't like Mike Abler. He doesn't seem like a prominent person, but that's not why. It's
Mhm.
because in his bio he said he hates people with skinny jeans. I love skinny jeans. I have, you know, good legs, and so skinny jeans kind of like have that shape, but I can still retain the thing. Also, when he wrote down what makes you think you're going to win Survivor, he put down yes. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Just yes.
He knows he's not winning the game. He is gonna I think he's gonna be fun. I think he's gonna be entertaining. Um just I don't know how long he's gonna be out there because I really think he's gonna be one of the easy ones with they go to tribal. Like he's probably the first one that they're gonna
Yeah.
vote out.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Why?
yes. Yeah. And then I'll yeah, we talked a little bit about Sammy. I think he has the he's gonna be needed on the tribe. Lindsay, I think is definitely a very possible first boot. Just
I'd
tribe
say she's a
dynamics.
safe first boot.
Yeah, just tribe dynamics. I see her being as like and especially if they go tribal first, that's when people aren't thinking about the game long term. They're thinking, how do I make sure I'm not the first one out?
Yeah.
And you usually see a lot of those safe, like, let's just get rid of this person. So if their tribe doesn't go first, she could make a deeper run. But if they are the first, I think you got the first boost.
Damn.
In fact, you have the first boot, I'd say, on this is the Coco tribe and the Baka tribe. So you're hoping the Vesti tribe, the most physical tribe, is the first tribe to go to tribal.
Insert Spring Awakening song totally effed.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So I just noticed that now. So not the best situation there. But this our teams, Ryan. How do you feel about your draft?
I didn't make this coffee a bit Irish, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I like my picks up, even though you were saying some stuff where I'm like, I my stock kind of went down on these peeps or something like that, or I don't think they're gonna make it that far.
mhm.
Seven above, I still have a positive reception. It's just honestly, I'm not even mad that I got Lindsay. It's
uh,
just Mike.
yeah.
It's just Mike.
Yeah, he was my number 17. So if you had yeah,
God dang
yeah,
it.
yeah. If it was between him and Lindsay, I picked Mike over Lindsay. But yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It's always my cookies getting crumbled though.
Listen, I think who okay. Okay. I'm looking at your chart. I actually don't know who I'd say is your best pick. I mean, it's probably your
Thank
first
you.
pick. It's probably your first pick. It's probably Owen. It's probably your bet most
I,
likely.
I'd say I still stand by my top three, even though you have said some things where I'm like, makes me second guess, but I still go with those guys.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, like I said, seven and above, I'm like, all right, I have like a good opinion about them.
Mhm.
Uh, it's just the last two. Like, obviously, we're gonna get to that point where it's like, oh, these are people we think are gonna go out early.
Mhm.
Um, because like just based on Survivor being a numbers game and stuff, odds are there's going to be two that's on the bottom.
Mhm.
But like, uh, well,
Yeah, exactly. I gotta say I'm happy with my
of
pick.
course.
I think I got pretty much who I wanted. The yeah, there's very few people who I'm like sad that you drafted over who I got.
I'll say the same. I'd say it's funny because the top seven on mine, are in the top 8 overall. So like,
Mhm.
obviously I have like high opinions about the people I trust, at least going into this. So
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say the only person he kind of took was Jesse, but
Yeah.
like that was the first pick. So like usually the first picks, it's like, all right, they're probably going to be top tier in
Mhm.
some regard.
Yeah, even
But
when
yeah,
it came down to Geo and Justine, like the two like last potential ones, like I prefer Justine over Geo, so um I'm
yeah,
happy that that I got her. So yeah, this is our draft, and we got Survivor in just a couple of days, Ryan.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't usually work Wednesdays too, so I can watch it, not have to worry about like rushing in the morning to do it or anything. So
Mhm.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna
exactly.
be dope.
And then yeah, we're jumping right into this reviewing another season. This will be our fifth season we're reviewing.
I know, number 5. Yeah, the fact we've made it this far, as well as like, always a new season. Even when it's like, I mean, especially when it's like, a new cast, we know nothing about these
Hmm.
peeps. It's like exciting because like, okay, these are new
Hmm.
faces, and these are like, all right, um, you get the surprises of like how these people actually are and what they're
Yeah.
capable of. You have in returnee seasons, like, yeah, you're hyped about them,
Hmm.
mostly because you know how they play and
Yeah.
you know their personality. This one, like, you find new favorites, and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely preseason is all about just complete perception, just absolute. We have no idea what's actually going to happen. We're just like, ah, this person could do very well. I see them on the TV making it very far, and
Gapler wins the entire season.
oh my god, it's so funny because like the fans love Mike Gabler right now. I don't know if you've seen any of this. They love him so much, like they want him to win. This is so the Facebook group. Watch the Facebook group go off when Mike Gabler is the first boot. They're gonna hate this season. This season will be hated by the Facebook group.
Jeez. He does have like an iconic, a very distinct look.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think that's one thing that he has going for
I
him.
think he's a great guy. I like to. I bet talking to him will be good. I think he's
He
gonna.
hates skinny jeans.
I think he's gonna have a few good confessionals out there, even if it's just one episode. I think
We'll see.
I think he'll have some entertainment value to him, but I just don't think his longevity is very likely.
Yeah, clearly. Um, but yeah, should we run through the names of everyone that we have on our respective teams?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'll go first. I got oh my God, I'm forgetting names. Yeah, it's Jesse Lopez, Carla, James, Mariah, Ellie, Janine, Cody, Justine, and I got Sammy.
All right. On my side, I have Owen, Dwight, Naneka, Noel, Ryan, Cassidy, Geo, Lindsay, and Gapler.
Gabler. If he wins the season, that would be ridiculous. Watch him be the next Bob Crowley.
No, don't insult Bob like that.
I mean,
How dare you?
he is a surgeon. Mikey Gabler
Bob
is a
is,
surgeon.
I know, but at the same time, it's the skinny jeans.
You hate him because of skinny jeans. I
Yes.
will say I'm not a fan of skinny jeans.
I like wearing them. They feel nice. The baggy pants just
Listen,
don't
that's
really
good for
do it for
skinny
me.
people, but me and Mike are not skinny.
I understand, but to hate them on
Yeah.
other people.
uh Okay. Well, that's going to do it here for our Survivor 43 fantasy draft. We'll be coming at you guys in just a couple of days here with the premiere recap episode. So stay tuned for that.
All
Um
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any last words here before we end the episode, Ryan?
All right. Yeah. And in the comments below, who do you think your winner is? Who do you think has the better team? It's Joe. Uh, yeah,
I,
stuff like that. Your wild predictions, down below. Oh, how about what do you think? We'll do like a little fun little thing between you and I, and if you in the comments below want to say something, any fun like twist predictions or anything like that.
yeah, that could be fun because they took out some twists. You know they're going to add more twists into the game. We'll see if they add in good twists or if they have other things similar to an hourglass twist.
I think a, I think Beware idols are still going to be it. It's not going to be
Yeah,
the passwords.
yeah.
I am curious because the last two seasons, just based on how things were structured, we didn't get a tribe swap, which was the first time since like in the 20s.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like 23 was the last time we never had a tribe swap or a tribe being dissolved and put into two other things.
Yes, some way
Um,
of mixing things up that happens.
yeah. So I think we might get that.
Yeah. Uh,
Emphasis on might.
yeah.
Um, I
I do
wouldn't put
too.
money on it.
Yeah, I do like the tribe swaps. It makes, at least in my opinion, some of these predictions a little more easy to like. I'm gonna pick the people on the strong tribe over the people who are probably on like the bad tribe, because obviously the bad tribe is more likely to have them go home, even if they're good players. Whereas if you have a tribe swap, it kind of stops that like mindset from being used. So
Yeah,
so if they do a tribe swap, then that means Survivor 44. I'm going to have a very different take on a lot of these drafts.
we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I definitely think tribe swaps are like, I I'm not gonna be mad if it doesn't happen or anything like that. Because I feel like both seasons overall benefited from like not having a tribe swap. It was nice to
Mm-hmm.
like mix things up in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah, well, we
Um,
got to see everyone without having to change dynamics and then focus on these new dynamics. We got to actually see like main storylines that could be used for the season.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
all
Yeah.
right. Well,
Yeah.
I think that wraps it up for us.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. We will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.